We are now in the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur or his Bhajan Kutir.
Итак, дорогие преданные, мы сейчас находимся дома Бхактивинода Thakura и
And
в Кутире.
this is the real samadhi of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We just paid our obeisances. I think we'll go there after that group will leave. We'll go there again.
Его настоящий самадхи, мы только что предлагали там поклоны, и перед уходом мы снова
And
предложим.
again, we'll have to squeeze a little bit. It's uncomfortable, I know, but please make space for other devotees who are standing
Мы
now.
должны вместе как-то ближе сесть, чтобы другим преданным тоже было место.
And in the corner, we'll see outside in the yard, we'll see also there is a place where Gaurkishore Das Babaji used to come to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. And he was doing his bhajana there. And we don't translate synchron, we translate after I'm saying.
Будет место, Гару Кишор Дас Бабаджи приходил к Бхактивиноду Thakuru и пел свой баджан. Там мы увидим, когда будем идти, выходить.
And they say that this is the exact balcony from which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw the Adbhuta Mandir, or the wonderful Mandir, that will be constructed in the future, from where the glory of Lord Chaitanya will be spread all around the world.
И именно с этого балкона считается, что Бхактивинод Thakur увидел видение Адбхута Мандира, который замечательный храм, который мы видим отсюда.
Now there are discussions amongst different Vaishnava groups about which one is exactly that Adbhuta Mandir. Is that ISKCON temple, or is that the temple built by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati at Yoga Pit?
И идут споры до сих пор между преданными, какой именно был храм. Это Адбхута Мандир, тот храм, который построил Искон, или это тот храм, который построил Бхактисиддханта Сарасвати?
I personally don't see a big difference between those two, because as we said, we have the Adimat, and then we have different temples, different branches all around. So therefore, I don't think it's a big problem. I mean, Bhaktivinoda Thakur definitely saw a place from which or from where the glory of Lord Chaitanya will be spread.
Я лично не вижу никакой разницы между храмами. Важно понять, что Бхактивинод Thakura увидел место, из которого увидел храм, из которого распространится знание по всему миру.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur named this house Swananda Sukhada Kunja.
Свананда Сукада Куджа назвал Бхактивинод Thakura этот дом.
Swananda means my own Ananda. Sukhada, which means that is bringing me joy to my soul.
Свананда означает мой дом, и Суканда это то, что приносит мне радость.
And they say that it is not different from Swananda Sukhada Kuja or the private grove of Lalita Sakhi, located on the bank of Radha Kunda in Vrindavan.
Во Вриндаване у Рада Кунды находится Лалита Кунда, и он не отличен от этого места.
It's a wonderful place because this was also a place of meeting of four great devotees.
Также это место знаменательно тем, что здесь встречались 4 великих преданных.
Jagannath Das Babaji was coming here, Gaurkishore Das Babaji was coming here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was there, and his son Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was there. Sometimes they were, I mean, you can imagine the spiritual interaction that they have amongst themselves.
И здесь был Джаганнат Дас Бабаджи, Гару Кишор Дас Бабаджи, Бхактисиддханта Сарасвати, Бхактивинод Thakura. Вы можете представить, насколько духовные темы они между собой здесь обсуждали.
They were meeting and they were discussing Krishna Katha together.
Они встречались и вместе говорили Кришна Катхе.
Мэри, вы слышите? Нет, не меня. Вы Кришна Канту слышите? Поменяйтесь местами, пожалуйста. Now, as we know, Lord Chaitanya, he left to his followers, he left a mission, a very, very special mission.
Как мы знаем, Господь Чайтанья оставил миссию своим преданным, великую миссию.
His vision was that in every town and village the holy name will be spread.
Что Святое имя будет повторяться в каждом городе и в каждой деревне.
Japa Prabhu told us yesterday that in Russia they also, in 80s, they also heard about this prediction.
И Джапа Прабху рассказывал, что в 80-е в стране они также слышали об этих предсказаниях.
That the holy name will be spread everywhere, in every town and village.
Что Святое имя будет распространяться в каждом городе и в каждой деревне.
And at that time, during the Soviet regime, it was so unimaginable that they were thinking, how is it possible?
И в советское время было невозможно представить, как это будет
And they
выглядеть.
were thinking that perhaps devotees will travel
Но, возможно, они
in different towns, and those few devotees that were in Soviet Union, they will travel in different towns, and that's how the holy name will be heard in different towns and villages.
Они подумали, что те нескольких преданных, которые есть у них, они
But they
будут
did not have
путешествовать
any
в
idea
каждом-
that actually it will actually happen, that the holy name will spread.
в каждом городе и деревне, но у них не было никакого понимания, и как это будет происходить, что Святое имя будет в каждом городе и деревне.
And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he took that message, he took it within his heart. He was very serious about it.
И Бхактивинод Такур, он всем своим сердцем принял это послание, он в него верил.
And despite his responsibilities, despite the fact that he was a householder and he had children,
Несмотря на его обязанности, несмотря на то, что он был домохозяином, и что у него были дети,
he was also the superintendent of the Jagannath temple.
он постоянно находился в храме Джаганатха.
He still was so serious about this mission that he wrote around 100 books promoting devotional service and promoting the chanting of the holy name.
Он был настолько серьезен в своей миссии, что он написал около 100 книг, пропагандируя
And also, as we know,
преданное
Srila
служение.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur organized a lot of different Namahata groups, especially around here, Navadvip Mandala.
И мы знаем, что есть много групп почитающих Господа Чайтанью даже здесь, в Навадвипе.
And we'll see when they will ask us to leave the room.
И мы увидим это, как только мы покинем эту
But
комнату.
till then, because technically we have to leave some space here for other devotees to see.
Потому что технически мы должны предоставить возможность другим преданным увидеть эту комнату.
And Amrita Ganga, if they finished down there, go and check it, and then perhaps we can go downstairs.
Если они закончили Амритаганга, можем спуститься вниз.
And there is a saying, Vaishnava Charitra Sada Pavitra.
Есть высказывание.
Vaishnava Charitra means the life and the example of a Vaishnava,
Это означает жизнь как пример
the life story of a Vaishnava.
Жизненная история Вайшнавы.
Is Sada Pavitra, which means it's always purifying.
Это всегда очищающее.
And I'd like to find a way today, we'll see either here or there down, but to speak a little bit about the glory of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
И я хочу сегодня или там внизу, или сейчас поговорим о славе Бхактивинода Такура.
An interesting detail is that usually when a devotee is alive, you don't quite understand what is the mission that he came to fulfill.
Обычно, когда преданный еще жив, вы не осознаете, какую миссию он выполняет.
For example, when a painter is painting a painting, if you are going to some museum and you want to see the painting very closely, most probably you'll not understand the idea of the painting.
Например, в музее, когда художник нарисует картину, если вы будете очень близко к ней стоять, скорее всего, вы не увидите всю идею этой картины.
So in order to understand it, you have to make some steps and you have to see it from the distance.
И для этого вам нужно отойти на несколько шагов назад, чтобы увидеть всю картину.
The same way, now you don't understand the impacts that you are having amongst each other, upon each other.
Поэтому сейчас вы не осознаете, какое сильное влияние вы оказываете друг на друга.
But if somehow some devotee is leaving his body, then after some time we understand, oh my God, what a role he was playing in my spiritual life.
Но потом, когда преданный покидает этот мир, вы осознаете, ого, какое он влияние имел на всю мою жизнь, какую роль мне играл он.
Unfortunately, I had this experience. I lost a few friends in Krishna consciousness who left their bodies.
К сожалению, у меня был такой опыт, я потерял несколько друзей в сознании Кришны.
And then what to speak of such a stalwart advanced devotee like Bhaktivinoda Thakur?
Тогда что уж говорить о таких возвышенных, преданных, продвинутых, как Бхактивинод Thakura.
I don't think even now we understand quite what he did by his life and by his example and by his teachings.
Я думаю, что даже сейчас мы не понимаем, какой он предоставил нам пример своей жизнью, своими стараниями, своим
We should
трудом.
understand one thing, that at the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the Vaishnava Sampradaya Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya was completely lost.
Мы должны понимать, что во времена Бхактивинода Thakura Гаудия Сампрадая была полностью утрачена,
And it
утеряна.
was covered by the teachings of different Apa Sampradayas.
И она была покрыта другими апа-сампрадаями.
There were there were 13 Apa Sampradayas, or some branches from the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Было 12 апа-сампрадая, ответвлений движения читания Махапрабху.
But there was one problem with those Sahajaya Apa Sampradayas. They were aspiring to receive love of God, but they were not ready to pay the price of following a proper sadachara.
И эти сахаджи апа-сампрадаи, они хотели получить милость Господа Чайтаньи, но они не хотели заплатить цену, которая сопутствовала этой милости, это выполнение садачара последовательно.
There was some wild conception that if you really believe in the holy name,
Была сумасшедшая идея, что если ты по-настоящему веришь в Святое
you
Имя,
have to sin intentionally.
ты должен намеренно воспевать его.
Because when you are sinning and then you are rectifying your sin by the chanting of the holy name, you'll understand the potency of the holy name.
Потому что если ты воспеваешь Святое Имя, намеренно ты не осознаешь могущество, которое таит в себе Святое Имя.
And there were many ideas like that.
И было очень много таких других идей.
And even now, sometimes we can see somebody is walking with a japa on one hand and a cigarette in another one. Another hand.
Даже сейчас мы можем увидеть, как кто-то идет с жапой в одной руке и сигаретой в другой руке.
Srila Prabhupada also expressed his opinion about them.
И также Шрила Прабхупада высказал свое мнение по поводу таких
That
ситуаций.
during the day they are chanting, during the night they have 2 or 3 women.
Днем они воспевают Святое Имя, а вечером у них по 2-3 женщины.
So as a result of this reputation, when somebody especially amongst the intellectual class of people here in Bengal, when they were hearing about Vaishnavas, they were saying, oh, Vaishnavas, those crazy people, those imposters and those sinners who in the name of religion, they are doing what they are doing.
Поэтому особенно здесь, в Бенгале, сложилось определенное мнение о вайшнавах. И когда люди слышали о вайшнавах, они думали, о, эти сумасшедшие люди, эти грешники, эти показушники, лицемеры, которые не являются вайшнавами.
So let's put it simple. Our sampradaya almost was completely lost.
Давайте суть. Наша сампрадая была практически полностью утеряна.
And let's explain and go 3 minutes again. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to make a very big endeavor in order to restore the reputation of Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Бхактивиноду Такуру пришлось приложить огромные усилия для того, чтобы восстановить репутацию Гаудия Сампрадая.
And with that reason, he had to write a lot.
И по этой причине он должен был много писать.
He had to do a lot of preaching.
Он очень много проповедовал.
And especially he had to write having a target audience, having the intelligentsia of Bengal.
Особенно он писал, имея в виду, что его главная аудитория – это интеллигенция Бенгала.
But we'll come to that. For now, till they will ask us to leave, let's talk here a little bit.
Мы еще к этому вернемся. Давайте, пока они нас не попросили уйти, мы еще об этом поговорим.
There is a very beautiful biography of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. If I'm not wrong, it's called Sakilita Jivana.
Сакелита Дживана — это автобиография Бхактивинода Thakura.
And in this biography, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is describing how he came through first of all through Muslim religion and then through Christian religion, how he came to Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
И он рассказывает мне, как он пришел сначала из мусульманской религии, потом через Гаудия Вайшнавов.
When he was young, he had a very, very happy life.
Когда он был молодым, у него была очень-очень счастливая
And
жизнь.
his parents, they gave him a very nice education.
Его родители дали ему очень хорошее образование.
Now, please, dear devotees, be attentive. At 2 years, he wrote his first poem.
А теперь преданное внимание. В 2 года он написал свой первый стих.
At 6 years, he knew Bhagavad Gita.
В 6 он знал Бхагавад-гиту наизусть.
He also knew Ramayana and Mahabharata.
Он также знал Рамайну и Махабхарату.
But somehow his family, although belonged to Nityananda Prabhu's family, technically, from the seminal point of view, they were not into Gaudiya Vaishnavism.
Несмотря на то, что вся его семья исходила из Нитьянанда Прабху, из этой ветви, они не были вайшнавы.
But from his childhood, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was especially interested in Ram's name. He was always chanting Ram's name.
Но Бхактивинод Thakura, ему очень нравилось имя Рама.
And he had a guard in his family who was a Muslim by his religion.
И у них был охранник в семье, который был мусульманом по своей религии.
And one time when he was a kid, he came to him and he asked him, "Please tell me, who is God?"
И он подошел к нему однажды и спросил: "Скажи мне, кто такой Бог?"
And that Muslim servant of his family said that God's name is Khoda.
И этот служитель семьи, он сказал, что имя Богу Khoda.
And the young Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kedranath, that was his name. He said, "But what about Lord Ram?"
И Кедранат Дат, это было его имя маленького Бхактивинода. Он спросил: "А кто тогда Рам такой?"
And that Muslim servant, he said, "But Ram God have another name which is Rahim."
И он сказал тогда, этот мусульман-служитель, что есть еще одно имя у Бога — Рахим.
And he told him that Rahim and Ram are the same persons.
Он сказал, что Рахим и Рам — это одно и то же.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur liked it very much, and he understood. Being a young person, he understood that, okay, it seems to be God is one, just different names.
И тогда, будучи маленьким, но очень одаренным, он понял, что, скорее всего, Бог один, у него просто разные имена.
Then as I said, his family lived a very, very happy life.
И, как я сказала, его семья жила очень-очень счастливой жизнью.
Till the moment that Bhaktivinoda Thakur's father died.
До того момента, когда умер отец
And then
Бхактивинода Thakura.
hell on earth started in his family.
И тогда на земле начался в его
A
семье.
lot of other relatives started to die because of some infections.
Другие родственники умирали из-за инфекций различных.
And I'll not describe it, but a lot of other things happened.
Не буду описывать, но очень много других вещей
Meanwhile,
произошло.
he was exposed to different other traditions and spiritual lineages.
И он был предоставлен множеству других различных традиций и последователей.
He was exposed to the tantric tradition.
В тантрической традиции он был...
One tantric said him that if during the night time you'll offer a school, you'll offer some wine, the school will start smiling.
И он сказал ему, что если ты ночью предложишь вино, то начнет улыбаться.
And when Bhaktivinoda Thakur offered some wine to a school, and he saw that the school is just nothing is happening, he said, "This is our superstitions."
И когда он предложил черепу вино в ночное время, и череп не улыбнулся, он понял, что это все всего лишь глупые предрассудки.
Then in time, when he received his education, he started to study different global philosophies.
И потом, когда он получил достаточное образование, он начал изучать другие мировые общины.
And he liked a lot the books of different philosophies available, Western philosophies.
Ему очень нравились книги, написанные западными философами.
But his advancement on the path of Gaudiya Vaishnava started with a random Vaishnava who just came to their house once.
Но его продвижение на пути Гаудия Вайшнавизма началось после того, как...
Bhaktivinoda Thakur is describing that he don't know who was that Vaishnava.
Но Бхактивинод Thakura описывает, что он не знал, кем являлся тот Вайшнав.
But he just sang a kirtan in the front of his family.
Он просто пел киртан перед своей семьей.
And he sang the Hare Krishna mantra. This was the kirtan with Hare Krishna mantra.
Особенно он пел Харе Кришна мантру, киртан.
And when his family members and he saw the tears that were coming from the eyes of that Vaishnava and the emotion with which he was chanting the holy name, and especially that the name of Rama was in the Hare Krishna mantra, something clicked in the inside of Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
И когда он увидел состояние этого Вайшнава, который воспевает святое имя, особенно когда он поет имя Рама и плачет при этом, то что-то перещелкнуло в его существе.
And he started to search. In his heart, he felt this flame of searching for God.
И тогда у него зажглась искра внутри него, и начал поиск Бога внутри себя.
You have to find him, search for him always, all the times, using all the direct and indirect methods, as Bhagavatam is saying.
Ты должен искать его везде и всегда, используя прямые и непрямые способы, как говорится в Бхагавад-гите.
And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that at some point he was very attracted by the Christian religion.
И в какой-то момент Бхактивинод Такур говорит, что его очень привлекала религия Кришны.
Especially this idea of self-surrender that Jesus said, Jesus showed in his own life, was very attractive to Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
И также идея полного предания, которую Иисус Христос показал в своей жизни,
And then when Bhaktivinoda
Тхакура
was 27, a very, very special thing happened.
И когда Бхактивинод Такуру было 27 лет, очень особенная вещь произошла.
Actually, his grandfather, he was a great mystic and a great astrologer.
Вообще-то его отец, его был дед был очень великим мистиком и астрологом.
His grandfather told him that when you will be 27, then something will happen in your life, and after that, the whole of your life, you'll do exactly that thing.
И он сказал ему, что что-то в 27 лет произойдет настолько особенное в твоей жизни, что это все переменит, и ты будешь всю свою оставшуюся жизнь жить по этому.
And actually, at 27, that was the first time when he got in touch with Chaitanya Charitamrita, which he was searching almost 4 years to find that book.
И произошло то, что он нашел Чайтанью Чаритамриту, он 4 года искал эту книгу.
You can imagine, we have, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. Here is everything happened around Lord Chaitanya. He could not find a Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Вы можете себе представить, что это было место рождения Господа Чайтаньи, его окружало все, что связано с Господом Чайтаньей, но при этом он не мог найти эту книгу.
Nowadays, now we are selling Chaitanya Charitamrita on the streets even.
И сейчас в любом месте даже продаем книгу на улицах.
Why? Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted it.
Почему? Потому что этого хотел Бхактивинод Такур.
And he described that when he read for the first time Chaitanya Charitamrita, some little face appeared in his heart.
И он рассказывает, что когда он в первый раз прочитал Чайтанью Чаритамриту, маленькое лицо появилось в его сердце.
When he read the second time Chaitanya Charitamrita, then he felt that there was no greater philosopher than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all in the whole East.
Когда он во второй раз прочитал Чайтанью Чаритамриту, он понял, что не существует более великого философа, чем Чайтанья Махапрабху.
But still he had a problem. He could not understand why Lord Chaitanya was worshipping Krishna, who was a woman hander.
И он все-таки не мог понять, почему он поклонялся Господу Кришне, который бегал за женщинами.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, ideal in his example, in his behavior, why he was worshipping Krishna, who had all those gopi pastimes during the nights and so on.
И он не мог понять, почему такая возвышенная личность, как Чайтанья Махапрабху, совершенным со всех точек зрения поклонялся Кришне, у которого были эти сборные ночные и так далее.
As he is describing, he started to pray internally. Please, my dear Lord, open me this mystery. I want to understand what's happening. What is behind all of those controversial leelas.
И тогда Бхактивинод Такур начал горячо молиться в своем сердце: пожалуйста, Господь, открой мне истину, почему это...
You want to stand or to sit or something? Yeah. Please do it, no problem with that. And he's describing that in time,
И он описывает, что со временем
by the grace of the Lord, he received a revelation inside.
по милости Кришны ему пришло внутреннее откровение.
And he understood that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is the supreme Purusha, supreme enjoyer.
И он понял, что Кришна — это верховная личность Бога, великий наслаждающийся, великий Пуруша.
And it's not about sex, it's about pure adirasa, pure relationship with God.
И это не о сексе, это о чистой адираса, о чистой любви божественной.
Here in Godruma Dvip, here in his Bhajan Kutir in this house, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also was dreaming about the time when Germans, when Russians, when English people from all over the world, they will come together and they will join in singing the names of Lord Chaitanya.
Здесь, в своем доме, в Гадрума-Двип, он спал и видел, как немцы, русские, люди из других стран будут воспевать святое имя.
And also here he made a prediction that soon we'll have an acharya, a special empowered acharya who will spread the holy name all everywhere, all around.
И также ему было видение, что будет у нас великий ачарья, который распространит святое имя за пределы этого места.
And as we know, Srila Prabhupada did it.
И как мы знаем, Шрила Прабхупада это сделал.
And just to show you a little bit about the integrity of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's character, I just want to give you a few examples about his schedule.
И для того, чтобы у вас было общее понятие о целостности характера Бхактивинода Thakura, я хочу вам дать несколько примеров о его расписании.
He was going to take rest at 7:38 p.m.
Он в 7:38 вечера ложился спать.
Then at 10 p.m. he was rising, he was lighting a lamp, and he was writing.
Потом в 10 вечера он просыпался, зажигал лампу и писал.
Here is the place where he was taking rest.
Здесь он отдыхал.
In a nearby room, we'll see there is a table. Perhaps he was working here or was working nearby, but we'll see it.
И там мы увидим стол, возможно, он работал за ним, возможно, здесь рядом, но мы его увидим.
Then he was working from 10 till 4 o'clock a.m.
И потом он с 10 до 4 утра работал.
That was the time when he was writing his transcendental books.
Это было то время, в которое он писал свои трансцендентные книги.
Then at 4:30 he was rising, he was washing his hands and face, and he was chanting his japa till 7.
В 4:30 он просыпался, умывался и читал джапу.
And there is a small room nearby where he was chanting his japa. I think that one is. Yeah, you'll see it.
И тут есть маленькая комната, в которой он воспевал свою
It's just a
джапу.
small room. You enter. There's an altar in front of you. He was sitting from 4:30 till 7, sitting, chanting his rounds.
Там есть в этой комнате маленький алтарь, в который он заходил. Там
No scrolling, no social media,
и читал
no
свою
eating,
джапу.
no sleeping,
С 4:30
no
до 7.
calling somebody or receiving texting and things like that we are doing nowadays.
Не было никакого интернета, он не листал ленту, он не смотрел на...
Then from 7 to 7:30 he was replying to mails.
С 7 до 7:30 он отвечал на почту.
And then from 7:30 to 8:30 he was reading for his personal nourishment. It's very interesting detail because
С 7:30 до 8:30 он читал для своего собственного...
I want to say that we as preachers, as leaders, we sometimes have this professional problem.
Мы как проповедники, как лидеры, у нас есть эта профессиональная испорченность.
When we are reading something, we are thinking this would be a good thing to describe and to share with other devotees.
Мы когда читаем, мы думаем, это хорошая вещь, чтобы поделиться с другими преданными.
And in time, if you are not attentive, then you'll just read, like a translator. You are just hearing and translating, but you are not living it.
И вы будете в один момент, как переводчик, вы будете получать знания, переводить.
Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he spent a lot of time for writing, but also he was spending time just for his own nourishing.
И поэтому Бхактивинод Thakura очень много времени проводил, когда он писал книги, но он также читал для своего собственного удовольствия.
Then from 8:30 till 9:30 or 9:45, he took again a little bit of rest.
Потом с 8:30 до 9:30, 9:45 он снова немного отдыхал.
At 9:45 he was taking his morning bath.
В 9:45 он принимал утренний душ.
Then he took a breakfast
Затем завтракал.
of half-quarter milk,
Четвертинка его стакана молока.
couple of chapatis,
Не 2-3 чапати.
and just a little fruit.
И небольшим фруктом.
And then at 9:55 he was going to his work.
А в 9:55 он отправлялся на работу.
And he had a special train.
У него был особый
And
поезд.
the way we were driving here on the rickshaws, actually the British government sponsored a special railway for him and a special wagon.
Британское правительство организовало ему на той дороге, на которой мы приехали сюда с рикшами, особый поезд на особых рельсах.
And he was going to his work on this wagon.
И он на этом вагончике ехал на свой
That was arranged just specially for him.
Это было устроено специально для него.
And I want to say 20 years back there wasn't this road with asphalt that we see here now.
Я вам хочу сказать, что 20 лет назад здесь не было этой дороги с асфальтом, которую мы видим сейчас.
It was a small road, but it was nearby the railway.
Это была маленькая дорога, но она была рядом с этим.
I saw it with my eyes, I touched it.
Я видел это своими глазами.
For real, it was there.
Я трогал ее своими
Unfortunately,
руками.
now they destroyed it. I came some years back and I saw how they are destroying this railway. It was so painful to see it, and then they covered everything with asphalt.
Я видел, когда они разрушали эти рельсы, как они их бетонировали. Это было очень больно моему сердцу видеть.
So he was going to the court for working,
И так он отправлялся в суд, чтобы работать.
and he was wearing a coat and a pants at the court. Coat and a pants. Coat and pants.
И он просто очень хорошо.
He was wearing coat and pants. Он носил пиджак и брюки. And beside coat and pants, he was wearing his 3 stands of kantimalas.
И помимо этого он носил 3 ряда кантхимал.
And he had tilak
И у него tilak был на
at his
лбу,
work.
на работе.
He was looking as a gentleman, but he was very open about his religion.
Он выглядел как джентльмен, но он был очень открыт к своей религии.
And we spoke yesterday that he was solving some cases that usually were very difficult to solve. He was solving them very, very quickly because he was very intelligent.
И очень сложные дела он их очень быстро разрешал, потому что он был очень интеллигентным человеком.
So from 10 to 1 he was working.
От 10 до часа дня он работал.
And then he was going home at 1 p.m.
Затем он возвращался домой в час дня,
He was taking a bath.
принимал ванну.
Then he went back to the court at 2 o'clock.
Затем возвращался в суд в 2 часа дня.
Then he was coming back at 5 p.m.
Затем в 5 вечера возвращался.
He translated something from the Sanskrit to Bengal.
На санскрит на бенгальский переводил что-то.
Then he took his evening bath
Затем принимал вечернюю ванну.
and a meal of a little rice, a few chapatis.
Ел немного риса, чапати.
He was wearing a pocket watch.
Он носил карманные часы.
You know where is it, yes?
Знаете,
It
да?
was usually on a
На
chain, on a small
цепочке.
chain. Looks like very aristocratic.
Очень аристократично это выглядело.
I think I saw a picture Prabhupada using also a watch
Я
like that.
думаю, что видел у Шрилы Прабхупады часы, которые он точно так же использовал.
He was shaving his head regularly.
У него регулярно была бритая голова,
He was shaving his face also
и
regularly.
также его лицо постоянно было выбрито.
He was very charitable to the brahmanas,
Он очень пожертвований много делал браманам
and he was very kind to other castes of people.
и был очень дружелюбен с остальными кастами людей.
He never showed pride in his, and he was very nice in his disposition towards other people.
Он никогда не проявлял надменности или гордости, он был всегда очень добро расположен к другим людям.
He never accepted gifts from people that he don't know,
Он никогда не принимал подарки от людей, которых он не знал.
and he declined all honors and titles offered by the government to him.
И он отказался от всех регалий и назначений, которые предлагало ему правительство.
He never even chewed betel.
Он никогда не...
Он никогда не жевал петель. He spoke Bengali, Sanskrit, English, Latin, Urdu, Persian, and Oriya. These are different languages that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was speaking. So
На
you
санскрите.
can imagine he was very, very educated.
около 7 языков. Все эти языки он знал, он был очень образованным человеком, он на всех на них говорил.
So he wrote a lot of different important books like Jaiva Dharma, Chaitanya Shikshamrita, Harinam Chintamani, Bhajana Rahasya, just few of them.
Это были названы всего лишь несколько книг, которые
And
принадлежат
regarding
Бхактивиноду
his books,
Thakуру.
Srila Prabhupada said that if you want to understand Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's teachings, then you have to study mainly two books, Chaitanya Shikshamrita and then Jaiva Dharma.
Джайва Дарма и Чайтанья Шикшамрита — это те две книги, которые вы должны изучить, если вы хотите понять Бхактивинода Thakura, суть его
But his
книг.
Harinam Chintamani is also a very wonderful book which really help us to improve our chanting, our japa.
Но Харинам Чинтамани тоже очень замечательная книга, которая поможет нам лучше воспевать Святое Имя.
And as I said, Vaishnava Charitra Sada Pavitra, when we are speaking about the life of a Vaishnava, it's always very purifying because he's living by his sadachar, he's living his teachings.
Как я вам сказала, слушать о жизни возвышенного Вайшнава — это тоже очень благоприятно, потому что он учит нас своим примером своей жизни.
But I'd like just to add a few other things regarding his teachings.
Но я хочу добавить несколько вещей про его учение.
And there are different areas of teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Есть различные вещи, ветви в учении Шрилы Бхактивинода Thakura.
Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Ara. There are different tattvas that Bhaktivinoda Thakur described in his books and also in his song books.
Есть много различных татв, которые Бхактивинод Thakura описал в своих книгах и также в своих песнях.
But there is a very nice article, and he wrote hundreds of articles.
Он сотни статей написал.
And since everybody of us, we are householders.
И все из нас, мы все домохозяева.
I picked up today, I chose a very short article in which he is describing the duties of a householder, Vaishnava householder.
Я выбрал статью, которая описывает обязанности домохозяина.
And he's writing, he's saying that while in the world of Maya, one should live peacefully with the aim of cultivating spiritual knowledge.
И он пишет, что в этом мире майя кто-то должен жить благочестивой жизнью для того, чтобы культивировать в себе духовное знание.
And the article is called How to Remain Peaceful While Living in the World.
И статья называлась «Как оставаться спокойным и мирным, живя в беспокойном мире».
So he's saying you have to live your household life with the goal to obtain knowledge, transcendental knowledge.
Вы должны жить своей жизнью домохозяева с целью достигнуть трансцендентного знания.
And in your mundane life, you should lead a pure life, avoid sin, and for the benefit of your fellow, you should do as much good as possible.
И живя своей повседневной жизнью, вы должны как можно больше добра делать тем, кто вас окружает, и избегать грехов.
So in other words, you should be socially active and helping people around.
Другими словами, вы должны быть социально активны, вы должны помогать людям.
Sometimes we become stone-hearted, that's people's karma, they should suffer, and why should I bother?
Иногда мы говорим, почему мне это должно волновать, каждый со своей кармой, они отстрадают свою карму.
Then he's writing that you should remain humble, bravely enduring all the difficulties of your life.
Ты должен оставаться храбрым, встречая все эти препятствия и неудачи на своем пути.
Such a householder should not boast of his virtues, and he should show due respect to everybody.
Такой домохозяин не должен хвастаться своими благими качествами, должен быть добр ко всем.
And now, one interesting detail.
Одна интересная деталь здесь.
Marriage for the purpose of living a peaceful and virtuous life.
Брак с целью жить благочестивую и счастливую жизнь.
With the intention of creating servants of the Lord is a good status of a Vaishnava.
И создавать новых слуг для Кришны — это хороший статус для Вайшнава.
So you have to have kids, but you have to have kids Vaishnavas, and this is a good preaching activity.
То есть вы должны иметь детей, но они должны быть вайшнавами, и это очень хорошая проповедническая деятельность.
At the same time, spiritual growth is the only purpose of your life. Never forget that.
И в то же время духовный рост является единственной целью вашей жизни, вы никогда не должны об этом забывать.
Do whatever helps this and abstain from whatever hinders spiritual growth.
Поэтому делайте все, что помогает этому духовному росту, и отказывайтесь от всего, что этот духовный рост замедляет.
Have deep faith that there is only no one else but Krishna who is the only protector for you, and accept him as your Lord.
Примите Кришну как своего Господа и всегда знайте, что Он ваш защитник.
And this is exactly what he is describing in Sharanagati songs.
Именно это он описывает в песне Шаранагати.
Doina atmani vedana goptritve varana abhasharakshile Krishna vishwasa palana bhaktyanukula matra karjarasvikara bhakti pratikula bhava bharjanantikara. So doina atmani vedana. Doina means humility, atmani vedana means self-surrender.
Дойна означает смирение, атманиведа означает предание.
Goptritve varana means accepting the Lord as your maintainer.
Принятие Господа как того, кто тебя защищает и поддерживает.
Avasharakshile Krishna vishwasa palana. Being convinced that Krishna will always protect you.
Будь убежден в том, что Кришна всегда защитит тебя.
Accepting things that are favorable and rejecting things that are unfavorable to your path.
Принимайте вещи, которые благоприятствуют твоему духовному росту, и отвергайте вещи, которые замедляют твой духовный рост.
Then he's saying, always remember that in this world you are just a traveler.
И он говорит, всегда помни, что в этом мире ты всего лишь путник, странник.
And you should be ready to return to your eternal home.
И ты должен быть всегда готовым возвратиться в свой высший дом.
Do your duties and cultivate bhakti as a means to attain the great results of your life, Krishna Priti.
Делай свое служение для того, чтобы достигнуть Кришна Прити, который является высшей целью твоей жизни.
Engage your body, mind and spirit in the service of the deity.
Свой ум, тело и сердце вовлеки в служение высшей цели.
Нет, вовлеки, engage in the service of the deity.
В служение Господу, в служение Божеству.
Worship the great Lord with all of your actions.
Поклоняйся Божеству, служи Ему всеми своими силами.
Do this with your heart, mind, and take your strength only from the association of spiritual people.
Делай это своим умом и сердцем и в общении с возвышенными людьми.
And very soon you'll see Krishna.
И очень скоро ты увидишь Кришну.
So that's how a householder should live their lives.
Вот так домохозяева должны жить свою жизнь.
And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the greatest example of that.
И Шрила Бхактивинод Такур был величайшим примером этого.
And it's interesting, even for our sannyasis in ISKCON, he still remains a great example of integrity and devotion.
И даже для наших саньяси в ИСККОН до сих пор остается великим примером целостности и поведения.
When somebody has bhakti, he's beyond ashramas, he's beyond sannyas, he's beyond grihastha and so on.
Когда у кого-то есть настоящая бхакти, он находится за пределами любых ашрамов, грехастх и так далее.
This place is very, very special. It's really spiritually surcharged with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's energy.
Это действительно по-настоящему великодуховное место, оно заряжено духовной энергией Бхактивинода Такура.
It's a place of praying, it's a place of feeling.
Это место молитвы, место ощущений.
I'll give you 15 minutes to walk a little bit around. You can come also when you have some free time.
Я вам дам минут 15 для того, чтобы вы походили здесь, посмотрели все, и также вы можете самостоятельно сюда
And then
приезжать.
I would like a little bit, we'll find either we'll sit here or somewhere outside we'll see. But I see again that there is some katha going on. Therefore we'll have to find a quiet place somewhere.
Я вижу, что снова началась катха внизу. Нам нужно будет найти тихое место.
And I would like a little bit to continue our discussion from yesterday about why we are coming to the Holy Dham.
Я хотела бы продолжить наше вчерашнее обсуждение по поводу того, для чего мы приезжаем в священный Дхам.
But before we'll have those 15 minutes, maybe Nrsimha Krishna, maybe you would like also to add something. And Japa Prabhu also, don't be shy. If you want to add something, we will be very, very happy and eager to listen. Anything you would like
Может
to
быть,
add.
Нрисимха
If
Кришна
you
и
feel.
Джапа Прабху хотят что-то добавить, мы будем очень рады.
Yes, Mataji also the same. If you want to add something, then please.
Если хотите что-то добавить, Матаджи, пожалуйста. По этой теме. Или вообще, в принципе.
Okay, you think about, yeah, please. Да.
Бхактивинода Такура является очень большим примером для нас по стабильности и внутренней чистоте.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a great example for us by his stability and his purity also.
Нам очень не хватает таких примеров, что можно жить именно так и сочетать в себе материальное и духовное и быть в то же самое время сильным человеком.
We don't have many examples of people who are able to combine this spiritual and material and can live by this integrity.
То, что мы в нашей парампаре, это, конечно, это очень большая удача.
And we are very, very fortunate that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a member of our parampara.
Спасибо вам, что вы нас глубже раскрываете историю жизни.
And she's thinking that we are telling the story of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life.
Вообще, надо изучать такие истории, как истории Шрилы Прабхупады, Бхактивинода Такура, они очень дают внутреннюю силу.
And definitely we should study these stories of Srila Prabhupada's life, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life, because they're nourishing us and it's giving a lot of power, strength.
Это реальные люди, это не какие-то вымышленные мифические герои, это все реально.
These are real people, they're not just some invented mythology heroes, they're real people who lived their life and showed by example.
Тоже так можем, если поставим себе цель, быстрее вернуться к Богу.
And we'll be able also to realize this truth if we'll have this goal and we'll really endeavor towards it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nadeshnikov. There are 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan,
Есть 6 Госвами Вриндавана.
and Bhaktivinoda Thakur is known as 7th Goswami.
Бхактивинода Такур известен как Седьмой Госвами.
He is a great author, writer.
Он великий писатель и автор.
Yes, Radha Govinda Prabhu said he has many important books in our Vaishnava Sampradaya.
Как Радha сказал, у него есть очень много важных в нашей сампрадае.
So deep knowledge, and sometimes when I read, I am just mesmerized.
Это очень глубокое сакральное знание. Когда я его читаю, я очарован.
And Jaiva Dharma is one of my very important books in my devotional life, and if there is permission of Radha Govinda Prabhu, maybe in the future you can read it also, for it's nourishing your spiritual life and a very good understanding of our philosophy.
И Джайва Дхарма является одной из моих самых любимых книг. И с разрешения Рада Говинда Прабху мы однажды ее будем вместе читать, потому что она действительно питает вашу душу и помогает вам понять, какой у нас смысл в нашем движении.
Sometimes we devotees complain, I don't have time.
Преданные иногда жалуются, у меня нет времени.
Actually, we have lots of time in our day.
На самом деле у нас очень много времени на протяжении дня.
But we don't know how to cultivate the time or how to manage time.
Но мы не умеем им распоряжаться, мы не знаем, как его
Actually,
считать.
time manages us.
На самом деле время нас контролирует.
Because we don't know the nature of time. Generally, we forget the nature of time.
Потому что мы не знаем, и мы забываем, какова истинная природа времени.
But when we read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life and Srila Prabhupada's life, and when we see great acharyas, great spiritual masters' life, we understand how time is very important.
Но когда мы читаем биографии Шрилы Прабхупады, Бхактивинода Такура и других великих ачарьев, мы понимаем, насколько ценно и важно правильно распоряжаться временем.
And there is no one moment they waste.
Нет ни одного момента, который бы они тратили зазря.
So Yeah, when you look outside from window, you feel bliss.
Когда вы смотрите из окна, вы чувствуете блаженство.
Because whatever Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj said, Srila Prabhupada and his son Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur and his disciple Srila Prabhupada made it possible.
Что Бхактивинод Такур видел Бхактисиддханта Сарасвати и также Шрила Прабхупада, что это было сделано его сыном.
In this line, we should take it further.
И мы должны продолжить эту традицию, эту линию.
We should take it further in our hearts.
Мы дальше должны нести ее в своих сердцах.
And with our actions, in our wherever we were born or we live, we should take this message to the people.
И мы должны нести эту истину людям, там, где мы родились, или там, где мы сейчас проживаем.
In this way, we will get a lot of mercy from Gauranga Mahaprabhu.
И мы таким образом получим много милости от Гауранга Махапрабху.
And also from the acharyas in our sampradaya.
И также от ачарьев нашей сампрадая.
And this is the key, going back to Krishna in this lifetime.
И это ключ к тому, чтобы вернуться к Кришне в этой жизни.
We can go back in one lifetime.
Мы можем за одну жизнь туда вернуться.
We just need Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy and our spiritual masters' mercy.
Нам нужна просто милость Господа Чайтаньи и милость нашего духовного учителя.
Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Just Nrsimha Krishna Prabhu reminded me about this concept of seventh Goswami, which is somehow it's kept my mind. Just a few words I would like to add regarding that.
Нрисимха Кришна Прабху напомнил мне о Госвами Вриндавана и о седьмом Госвами. Я хочу всего пару слов сказать об этом.
So there were 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana.
Было 6 Госвами Вриндавана.
And from Navadvipa Mahatmas, it was a kind of like Mahatma assembly in Navadvipa at the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They offered him the title seventh Goswami.
И Навадмит Махатма, они предложили ему, на самом деле был как совет, они предложили ему действительно статус седьмого Госвами Вриндавана.
So they started to call him the Sapta Goswami, the seventh one.
Они начали называть его Сапта Госвами, седьмой.
And recently there was an article written by somebody who really was against that title for Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
И недавно вышла статья, написанная кем-то, кто был категорически против такого титула для Бхактивинода Thakura.
And the person was saying that we could name Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur with the same name or some other acharyas after the 6 Goswamis, and we could name them 7 Goswami, 8 Goswami, 10 Goswami. So what is so special about Bhaktivinoda Thakur that we have to call him the 7th Goswami?
Он сказал, что было много ачарьев после этих 6 Госвами, Вишнувату Чакур, которого мы могли бы назвать 6-й, 7-й, 8-й и так далее Госвами, но мы этого не сделали. Что такого особенного в Бхактивиноде Thakуре, что мы хотим его назвать 7-м Госвами?
And yes, of course, we had many great stalwart acharyas after the 6 Goswami.
И действительно, после этих 6 Госвами у нас было очень много великих ачарьев.
But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was preaching in Bengal. He was reviving Lord Chaitanya's movement in Bengal.
Но Шрила Бхактивинод Thakur развивал в Бенгале сознание Кришны, Господа Чайтаньи, движение развивал в Бенгале.
He wasn't preaching so much in the Sanskrit.
Он не так много проповедовал на санскрите.
And even when he once went to Vrindavan, I don't remember, it was a dream or something, but Krishna told him that go to Vrindavan, I give you permission, but you should come back very fast because you have a mission to develop Lord Chaitanya's movement here in Bengal.
И был однажды ему сон, в котором пришел к нему Кришна и сказал: ты можешь ехать во Вриндаван, я даю тебе на это добро, но при этом ты должен будешь очень быстро вернуться, потому что у тебя есть миссия здесь, в Бенгале, для продвижения этой миссии.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was promoting this mission of Lord Chaitanya in Bengal through the Namahata systems.
И он посредством систем Намахата продвигал это движение в Бенгалии.
The concept of Namahata was born is what's coined by Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually.
Бхактивинод Такур ввел это принцип Намахаты, проповедование через Намахату.
And this Bhakti Vriksha idea was coming from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There were hundreds of Bhakti Vrikshas around Bengal originating from him.
И Бхакти Врикша также вел Бхактивинод Такур, вокруг было множество Бхакти Врикш, которые произошли от него.
And as a result of him reviving the movement of Lord Chaitanya here, in writing a lot of books, discovering different holy places, and doing exactly what 6 Goswamis did in Vrindavana, but he did it here. Therefore, he was awarded this title of the Sapta Goswami or 7th Goswami.
Но из-за того, что он проводил здесь, написал множество книг, проповедуя движение, проводил здесь раскопки в поиск святых мест, делал различные нововведения. То же самое, что сделали 6 Госвами во Вриндаване, но он сделал это здесь, в Бенгалии. Именно поэтому он заслужил своими действиями такой титул 7-го Госвами.
And Namahata means a marketplace of the holy name.
Намахата означает рынок святого имени.
And there is this famous song. I was thinking that maybe we'll have time and we'll have some space where to sing it, but you see, now already the parikrama time is starting, and it will be more and more difficult to find some quiet place.
И прекрасная песня существует, которую я хотел бы, чтобы мы с вами спели. Посмотрим, сможем ли мы это сделать снаружи. Но сейчас, когда начались парикрамы, все будет все сложнее и сложнее найти тихое место.
But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained the relationship between the face and the holy name.
Бхактивинод Такур объяснил связь между верой и святым именем.
That if you have faith, then you receive the more manifested holy name, let's say it like that.
Если ты веришь, что ты получишь более проявленное святое имя, давайте так это назовем.
If you don't have faith, you just remain on the level of Namakshara.
Если у тебя нет веры, ты останешься на уровне Намакшара.
It means external alphabetic chanting.
Это просто вслух произносить имя.
And Srila Prabhupada, as Nrsimha Krishna Prabhu said, he offered us the chance in one lifetime to go back home, back to Godhead.
И как Нарисимха Кришна сказал, Шрила Прабхупада предложил нам в этой жизни вернуться за одну жизнь обратно домой, обратно к Богу.
But Prabhupada said, you have to follow the 4 regulative principles and you have to chant the holy name, chant your 16 rounds without offenses.
Но Шрила Прабхупада сказал, что ты должен соблюдать 4 регулирующих принципа и также воспевать 16 кругов святого имени, не делая оскорблений.
And dear devotees, I want to say you one thing.
И я вам хочу сказать одну вещь, дорогие преданные.
You'll not be able to chant your 16 rounds till the end of your life and follow 4 regulative principles and chant it with quality if you'll not preach.
Вы не будете в состоянии соблюдать 4 регулирующих принципа и воспевать свои 16 кругов без оскорблений, если вы не будете проповедовать.
You'll be a pious Grihastha Vaishnava coming from time to the programs, but it will not be the thing that Prabhupada said.
Вы будете благочестивыми грехастами, которые будут приходить на воскресные программы, но этого будет недостаточно, как сказал Шрила Прабхупада.
But if you remain in this fire of preaching, you will remain connected with Srila Prabhupada and with Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and the previous acharyas. They will shower their mercy upon you, and that's how you go back home, back to Godhead.
Но если вы будете проповедовать, то вы создадите связь, почувствуете ее со Шрилой Прабхупадой, Бхактивинодом Такуром, Бхактисиддхантой Сарасвати и со всеми предыдущими ачарьями. Они просто выльют ведрами на вас свою милость.
And yes, there is a difference between Namakshara chanting, alphabetic chanting, and real chanting of the holy name.
И есть большая разница между воспеванием Намакшара и истинным воспеванием святого
Once
имени.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur was traveling to some Namahatas outside of Navadvip or in the frame of Navadvip.
Однажды Бхактивинод Такур путешествовал с Намахатами за пределами Навадвипа или в его окрестностях.
And he came to a place where he was invited by some Namahata group.
И он приехал туда, где его пригласили группа, которая совершала Намахату.
But he arrived with small Bimal Prasad, with small Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. They arrived to that village late at night.
И он приехал туда с маленьким Вимал Прасадом, будущим Бхактисиддханта Сарасвати, вечером поздно.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur decided that I don't want to disturb the host because we really arrived late at night and I'll search for a place where we can stay during the night, and then in the morning I'll go.
Бхактивинод Такур решил, что он не хочет беспокоить никого, потому что действительно было дело поздней ночью. Он просто решил, что они найдут место для того, чтобы переночевать, и утром они...
So they found a old, dilapidated, this is the word I think in English, old abandoned temple at the edge of the village, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur said to Bimal that Bimal will sleep here.
Они нашли старый заброшенный храм на краю деревни, и Бхактивинод Такур сказал: Бимал, мы будем здесь спать.
And he found some hay, he put it on the ground, and he said, life is simple, no problem, morning we go.
И он нашел немного соломы, постелил ее на пол и сказал: жизнь штука простая, и они утром соберутся и
And
пойдут.
during the night they started to hear some sounds, very strange and fearful sounds.
А ночью они услышали много страшных, странных звуков.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur at some moment he started to chant.
И в какой-то момент Бхактивинод Такур начал воспевать.
And after some times of chanting the Mahamantra, the sounds disappeared. Now that, atmosphere of fear and atmosphere of this, what do you call those movies? Horror, scary movies immediately disappeared.
И через какое-то время после воспевания, того, как он начал воспевать круги, эта атмосфера напряженная, страшная, как в фильмах ужасов, она растворилась.
And in the morning he came to the host.
И утром он пришел к хозяину.
And the devotee asked him that, Prabhu, where have you been? We were waiting for you.
И он спросил его: Прабху, а где же вы были? Мы вас ждали.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained where they were sleeping.
И Бхактивинод Такур объяснил, где они были.
And the man was amazed. He said, "But this abandoned temple is ghost hunted."
Но этот храм заброшенный, в нем духи обитают.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, "I know. We saw it, but I chanted mantra and everything was resolved."
Да, я знаю, сказал Бхактивинод Такур. Мы с ним встретились, но я начал воспевать мантру, и все прекратилось.
And then the man said, "This is actually the ghost is the ghost of a former priest
А на самом деле
who was serving in this temple."
этот призрак, это дух священника, который раньше служил в этом храме.
And he also was chanting the Hare Krishna mantra during his lifetime.
И он также воспевал Харе Кришна Махамантру в своей жизни.
And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked what kind of lifestyle he had.
И тогда Бхактивинод Такур спросил, какой образ жизни он вел.
Oh, he was a nasty person.
Он был гадким человеком.
Cheating, angry, beating people, demanding donations, and he was nasty.
Изменял, требовал пожертвования, плохо обращался с людьми, он был ужасным человеком.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said he did not chant the holy name, he chanted Namakshara.
И тогда Бхактивинод Такур сказал, он не воспевал святое имя, он воспевал Намакшара.
He chanted only the external sound, the alphabetical sound of the holy name, but it wasn't the holy name.
Это было алфавитное произношение святого имени, но он не воспевал святое имя.
So there is this correlation between our lifestyle and the chanting.
Поэтому есть связь между нашим воспеванием и нашим образом жизни.
And I want to say, if you want to behave nicely, just preach.
Я вам хочу сказать, если вы хотите быть дружелюбным, милым, просто
Preaching will
проповедуйте.
stimulate you.
Проповедование вас простимулирует.
People to whom you are preaching, they immediately, if you have some problems with your character, they immediately will tell you about that. Don't worry.
Люди, которым вы проповедуете, если они увидят какие-то недостатки в вашем характере, они в этом немедленно вам скажут, даже не переживайте.
They immediately will indicate either you are angry, either you are spaced out, either you are not punctual. They will tell you about that.
Они вам немедленно скажут, если вы будете злы, рассержены, или если вы будете витать в облаках, или если вы не будете пунктуальны, вам немедленно об этом расскажут.
So preaching is a great inheritance that we received from Bhaktivinoda Thakur and from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and our Srila Prabhupada.
И проповедование – это великое наследие, которое мы получили от Шрилы Бхактивинода Такура, Бхактисиддханта Сарасвати и Шрилы Прабхупады, которым они нам оставили.
And that's our way to work on our character and finally to work on the quality of our chanting.
И это поможет нам работать над своим характером и над качеством воспевания святых имен.
Okay, let's have a pause. Now it's 11:36. Let's at 12 o'clock. We'll speak maybe for 20-30 minutes more. somewhere, I don't know, we'll find out with Arjuna. But meanwhile, you can walk a little bit around, you can meditate, you can pray to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
11:36, то есть мы в 12 с вами встретимся. Сейчас вы можете гулять, смотреть, молиться Бхактивиноду Thakuru, и потом мы еще поговорим около 20 минут снаружи.
Go to the next room, see the altar, and
в алтарную.
Spend some time.
Проведите время некоторое здесь.
Шрила Бхактивинода Тхакур ки джай, Шрила Прабхупада ки джай, Нитай Гаур Преmanande.
Джай.
Гаура Бхактивинда ки джай. And we have 37 minutes till 12:30 when the arati will start.
У нас есть 37 минут до того момента, пока арати.
And I'll try to be short, and then I hope I'd like also to give the opportunity to Nadina also to add something, to speak a little bit till the arati will start.
Я также хочу дать, я буду коротко.
And as you remember, yesterday we spoke that the first reason we are coming to the Dhamma is because Srila Prabhupada said, expressed his will and his desire for devotees to come at least on the yearly base here. And yeah, by the way, we can to make things faster. You can translate synchron, and it will be easier then. It will be faster. And especially Srila Prabhupada said that you have to come on the yearly base here, and you talk amongst each other and consider how well is your spiritual advancement going. So Prabhupada had something very specific in the mind why we should come here. What is the reason that we should come here? Also, yesterday we heard that Prabhupada especially taught the preachers they should come to these places and they should get purified, because preaching in the West or in the East, in Turkey and any other places, consciously or unconsciously, but our consciousness is getting contaminated by the atmosphere that is there. And therefore, especially for preachers, it's very important to come to the Holy Dhamma and to get purified. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned also that preachers should especially pray to Lord Balaram to receive strength and power to preach in West. And also yesterday we said that we are showing Krishna that he is important to us, because when some of our relatives have a birthday or have some event, something, we are coming to him as an expression of love. We are coming to their house for that event as an expression of love. So in the same way, when we are coming for Gaura Purnima, or we are coming for Janmashtami, for some special celebrations to the Holy Dhamma, we are showing Krishna that we care, and that we need him, and that we love him, and that he is playing a very, very important role in our life. Another reason that I detected somehow for myself why it's important to come to the Holy Dhamma, besides those things that we spoke yesterday, is as Raghunath Das Goswami is describing in the Manak Shiksha, and so on. And he is saying that, O mind, please cast away all hypocrisy and develop intense unprecedented love for your Guru, for your spiritual master, for Goshti, for also for the Brajavasis, for the Brahmanas who are living there. And he's saying especially that you should develop this love and attachment for the people of Raja, or the people who are living in Raja and also in Navadvip. And it's a very special rasa to have a relationship, nice relationship with local people. It doesn't mean that we have to learn from them. It doesn't mean that we have to, to imbibe maybe their philosophy of life, because sometimes they're quite relaxed in their sadhana and their way of life. But still, like that gentleman nearby Samadhi of Srila Prabhupada who is selling us daily those coconuts, yes? I know him for almost 25 years, because all the time when I'm coming to Mayapur, he's giving me all those coconuts and he's putting some aside for tomorrow. It is a special bond, a special relationship. And he's actually an initiated devotee, he's a disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj. But he's happy to see you when you are coming, and you are also eager to see him. It's a special bond, like between family members. Therefore, when you receive the blessings and you imbibe their culture, because you see how they're behaving with other people, you imbibe that culture, which is a very, very important thing that you can receive only here in the Holy Town. Another reason why it's important to come to these places is because, as we know, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravana, Mathura Vasa, Shimurtira, Shradaya Sevana. This is a 5 version of Bhakti, not Navavida Bhakti, it's 5 items of Bhakti described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sadhu Sangha means association with devotees. Then Bhagavat Shravana means hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mathura Vas means living in a holy place, living in Mathura. And Shradaya Murti Seva, which means worshipping the deities. And Namakirtan means chanting the holy name. It's a very important thing that you have to have a place where these elements of Bhakti are most efficient. And what is that place? The place is the Holy Dham, because in the Holy Dham it is said in the Shastras, when you are chanting the japa, when you are chanting kirtan, when you are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, is thousands and thousands of times more powerful than we are doing it in the West. Therefore, Mathura Vas, or living in the holy places and visiting the holy places, is the best ideal place to practice these elements of sadhana. So we have to chant rounds, we have to sing kirtan, we have to associate with devotees, we have to study Srimad Bhagavatam, but what is most fit place to do that is the holy place. Therefore, it's a package. Mathura Vas coming with other items. Also, one important thing, although we hear from Shastras that the holy time is covered by this layer of Kauda Maya, which is keeping the Dhamma hidden from the eyes of the materialistic people, still we can feel, everybody can feel that the influence of the material energy here is minimal in comparison with the influence of the material energy there in the West. And therefore, this experience that we have here, as we spoke yesterday, that here we feel ourselves in majority, because in the West or in the East in Turkey, we feel ourselves in minority. But sometimes it's very pressing, because being in minority, especially in difficult countries where the Christian Orthodox religion is very powerful, you cannot openly sing, cannot openly do things. But here you can feel free. Here you can feel that you are. It's exactly the right place to do it, and you feel the spiritual energy, and you feel that the influence of material energy is completely reduced in this place. Also, coming to Dhamma is a nice way to deepen our sadhana, to reboost our sadhana, which sometimes because of different services that we have in the West, because of different responsibilities that we have in the West, sometimes our sadhana is not the best. But when we are coming to the Polivalent, we can disconnect from all of our material responsibilities and even devotional responsibilities that we have. And in that way we can disconnect from those things in order to reconnect to the spiritual energy, to reconnect with ourselves, to reconnect with Krishna, to reconnect with the inner aspirations that we have. Therefore, this is another reason to come to the Holy Land in order to reconnect again with our inner devotional values. Also, important thing that why we are coming to Dhamma is that we can reconnect ourselves to the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we spoke just a few minutes ago in the room of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that you feel here that Lord Chaitanya is a real person. His eternal associates, they are a real person, real personality, not just personalities that we are read theoretically in the pages of different shastras. But we really can reconnect with them, and we can feel that spirit of a mission that Lord Chaitanya promoted, and we can connect to that mission, and we can find our place in the mission of Lord Chaitanya's movement. Therefore, it's another very, very important reason why we are coming to the Dhamma. And of course, another one is that we find our place in the mission, we get some energy to promote the mission of Lord Chaitanya, and also we can bring people to these places that will also take over and will accept the mission of Lord Chaitanya, will promote it further. And also we have some practical, pragmatic, maybe a little bit funny reasons to come, but I also included them because sometimes devotees are feeling a little bit guilty when they are running to those shops to buy some things. No, don't feel guilty, because it's a practical reason. We need, like in army, you cannot fight if you don't have ammunition. Therefore, we need to, to refill our arsenal, our ammunition by buying the japa beads that you can buy here. I mean, a neighbor just told me that you can, if your beads were broken, he can, in 10 minutes, in a few minutes, he can just reknot it. So if you need, then it's possible in Dhamma. And we need bead bags, we need kanti malas. I remember when Amrita Ganga with Arjuna, they came for the first time to our program. And we were 2 or 3 of us at the program, and they came together. When they saw even those tilak stamps that we brought from India with Moksharupa, and they said, we need 5 Bhagavad Gitas, but we need also this stamp. And I say, you know what's in the Bhagavad Gita? I don't know, but I want to buy it. I don't care. And I need those tilak, I need those bead bags, and I need this, and I want 10 of them. I said, you know what to do with them? They said, we don't care, but we want to buy them. So it's working. I mean, it's working. These items, we need them to preach. Therefore, nothing wrong to acquire them. Another thing sometimes that we are coming from the practical point of view, why we are coming to the Dhamma, is like we had this little ceremony yesterday. Unfortunately, devotees' bodies, they're becoming older, and Turkish yatra, Romanian yatras, relatively, we are young now, but I want to say that in 15, 20, 30 years, devotees will start passing from this world. And the one way of serving those departed Vaishnavas is to bring their ashes and to put them either in Yamuna or in Ganga, in this way to offer our last service to that Vaishnava, beside remembering them and beside being grateful to them. So this is another very, very practical reason why we are coming to the Dhamma, and I wish, by Krishna's mercy, this time will be long away and it will not come so soon, but it will come sometimes. Therefore, this is another reason why we are coming to the Dhamma. So, again, we are just at the beginning of our parikrama, and I just wanted to say a few words about the reasons we are coming to the Dhamma in order to be attuned and to understand better why we are coming. And also, Naginanetra, please, maybe you'd like to share something else from your experience about why you are coming to the Dhamma, what we are doing here, what is the reason that we are coming here, and please.
Hare Krishna. Om Ganatimarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritamya Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasnubhyamcha Pratitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, I'm very happy we saw each other Jagannath Mandir yesterday. Now here. This is Navadvip, it's 9 islands. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going all around these 9 islands every day, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this place here is very unique, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's place. You have been upstairs and saw some of the places where he wrote. He wrote over 200 songs because he understood the zeitgeist, the mood of the time, that people were very much into songs. So he understood that mindset and he put the whole Krishna conscious philosophy into songs. And many of them he published under different names because he understood the mindset of the people. At his time, there was a lot of bauls and sahajiyas and different types of apasampradayas. People were very artistic, very sentimental, very extravagant. Things had degenerated so much that when he lived here 500 years ago, no, Mahaprabhu lived 500 years ago, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was just in the turn of the last century, so about 100 years ago. 400 years after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he could not find Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was not available. Even though Mahaprabhu lived here, it was not available. He had to go to Orissa to find that book. So that gives you an idea of how things were when he lived here. Plus the British were here, so he was a magistrate. The British built the railway here, so he could go to Krishnagar to court. So he was the top guy. District magistrate was the highest you could achieve under the British as an Indian person, and he had that. So he was to court to Tilak. Tilak, every day he finished all the cases. He was very favorite because he was not taking bribes, he was completely clean. And in half a day, most of the time he used to finish his duty and come back here, live simple life. You can read his biography, it's online, that he wrote to Lalit Prasad. It's a PDF. Yeah. Autobiography, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, PDF. It's there online. And the rest of the time he would use for his bhajan, for chanting and writing. He had 10 children, so he was quite productive in many ways, but he spent adequate time with all his different occupations. At the same time, his bhajan was really his main core. And he was a visionary, so he looked over the Jalangi and he had this vision. He saw this wonderful development, this wonderful project. So the acharyas, they're all working together. It's a team effort. It's not a competition. It's like we have different team leaders, but we're all trying to serve each other and help each other to create something beautiful for Radha and Krishna. And that's the mood that we see here when we go around in Navadvip. So I humbly suggest that we pray here at this historic place of Bhaktivinoda Thakur that he may grant us also some visionary capacity, that we can see how Krishna consciousness will expand in our own lives and in our Prabhudatta Desha, where we want to preach. Because here there was nothing. This was just really, I came here first time in '86 when I got initiated. It was just, none of these roads were paved. Everything was dirt and rice fields. And now it's developing, but still that spirit of Mahaprabhu. You've been to Dameshwar in Navadvip? Tomorrow, yeah. And Mahaprabhu is just saying, take. Just take. It's all yours. You can take. It's good. So this is, Avtaridham is a very merciful place. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a missionary. He was also a revolutionary. He didn't compromise with all the other different factions. At the same time, he was so inclusive that he signed some of his songs as the Baul, just to make them feel comfortable. Okay, he's one of us. We can read his song. So he had quite a revolutionary concept. Even though he was conservative, he was also quite accommodating in order to reach people and to share the message with them. So, and I believe this is the Yukta Vairagya principle of Rupa Goswami, and this is what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada embodied, and all our gurus, that we have to understand the message, we have to understand the essence and internalize it, and then we can apply it in our own situation to make a connection with the people that we meet. And then whether you call yourself a Baul or, you know, a Orthodox or a Muslim or a Christian, that's a detail. But as soon as people understand that, oh, he's speaking my language, he's one of us, he's one of us, then usually their defense mechanisms, they go down and their hearts open up and they can actually pay attention to the message. Otherwise they just see some people with strange clothes and strange language and strange customs, and they think some other very different people. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very fixed in his lifestyle. He was very focused. You can see in his diary how he had a clear plan for every day, and that's why he wrote 200 songs and many books. You should, Prabhupada said, you should read Jaiva Dharma, you should read these main works of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They're available, you have translations. And there, his whole concept of Namhata, of how we can actually do what we're now trying to do, he gave that. And then you can see his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he started the Gaudiya Math, and he created a mission, an army of sannyasis and brahmacharis. And then, so it went from conservative to more inclusive to again conservative, but that's not a contradiction, it's just different aspects of the mission and different needs of the times. And then Srila Prabhupada, he kind of created a synthesis of all these different approaches that his previous gurus were exemplifying. And that was the formula that actually spread all around the world. And Krishna consciousness works in every country of the world. Why? Because Prabhupada gave us principles. And he didn't get into details. Okay, what type of spice, what kind of food, what kind of, this is all detail. This you have to figure out in your place. But the principle, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Bhakti is the process. These are principles. So we are very grateful that we have such visionaries, such luminaries in our tradition. And we can come to these places and pray to gain inspiration, to gain empowerment, and to also be able to take a molecule of that mood and spirit that Bhaktivinoda Thakur had. So we can also do our part to expand this mission. So I think it's very historic. We have here devotees from Romania, from Turkey, from Russia, Switzerland, and all over. I'm very happy to see my old friend Japa Prabhu. who we met in many places, under many different circumstances, been through many storms, and he's here, and he's vibrant. So, which shows that the process works. It actually works. The heart becomes softer. It's not that we can continue with our old ways, but we are open for suggestions. We are open for improvements. Unless you're American, then you're born perfect, and from there on it's the downhill race. Right? But they also have exceptional ones. So, thank you for coming all the way from your faraway places to take in this rarefied atmosphere. And each place that we visit, we should try to extract the essence. And then you keep that in your heart, and that will, as Prabhu was saying, that will keep us going till the next time we come here. So we're like camels who are going to go through the desert. So here we are, we're just soaking up all the nectar that we can get, because we know that the desert will be long. It will be long. But as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says, that the journey through the desert is very difficult, but with the stick of the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we can actually cross over that desert. And the desert is everywhere in Kali Yuga, because people are dry. Have you noticed sometimes? Like here you say, Nitai Gaur, and people go, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. You know, they're very soft, they're very devotional, they're very open. But sometimes you meet people and they're totally dry. It's like no response. You can smile, you can try to do handshake, high five, you know, fist bump, this, that. Nothing works. You had experience like that? People do, you know. And so, what can reach them? But when we see the mood of Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur and all our parampara, that they were extending themselves to people who were the most undeserving, the most unqualified. If we take on that mood, which means a mood of humility, of cooperation, then even those persons, their hearts can be touched and they can change. Somehow somebody extended themselves to us, and believe it or not, we're here. We're here. Would you have thought 10 years ago that you would be in Mayapur, going around on boats and rickshaws and drinking coconuts? So it's a great adventure, this bhakti process. So if you engage in bhakti, you will never have a dull moment in your life. It won't be 9 to 5. It won't be just same old, same old. Because Krishna, he likes adventure. He likes a little bit of excitement. It's called the love fight, you know, like sometimes also Vaishnavas, they have maybe some different of opinion or some different flavors, but it is all there to enhance the experience, because Krishna likes variety. So there has to be some drama, there has to be a little bit of tension. Of course, not too much tension, but a little bit of tension has to be there. Like we were realizing, my old friend Bhaktivinoda Prabhu from Switzerland, we spent 6 years in the same van, distributing books in Geneva and in French part. And now he's leading congregational development in Italy and in Switzerland. So, you have a plan, but it never works out. So then you just have to accept. So we were trying to get here from the Ghat, but nothing worked. So then we gave up and we started walking. And then somebody came and picked us up. So, that moment of, okay, I give up. You read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's biography, he very honestly, self-effacing, he says that, I tried to become a school teacher, I failed the exam. I tried to become a government officer, I failed the exam twice. I continued, then I got posted here, there. He was posted maybe 15 times in all very difficult outposts, very remote areas. till finally he rose in grade and he could ask for a placement here. But he did not complain. He just accepted, okay, this is what Krishna wants. And he said, if we are practicing bhakti authentically, we will see everything in this world as paraphernalia for Krishna's service. And the difficulties that arise in the performance of our devotional service, they are my ecstasies. Do you have enough ecstasy in your life? Huh? Do you have enough difficulty? Or you want some more? A few years ago I was praying this Kunti Marani, Vipada Shantu Dakshashva Tatra Tatra Digat Guru Bhavato Dakshanam Yansyat Apunar Bharadarshanam, that let calamities come again and again, because in times of calamity Krishna was with us. He was with us in the forest, in the war, in the intrigue, in all the politics. Krishna was there and he had our back. All the impossible situations got solved. But now we won the war. Now we're the emperors. And Krishna says he's going. So she said, let the bad times come back so that Krishna will stay with us. So some years ago I was praying this prayer on a daily basis, just as a standard, routine, as we do our sadhana. Because I thought this is a nice prayer. And then guess what happened? Calamities came again and again. Till I had to say, okay, this prayer, I put it in the freezer, in the ice box. I will keep it there. Maybe later I will take it out. But for now, I think I'm good. So, we don't have to make things more difficult. The world is difficult enough. Yet Krishna, why is he doing this? Because he likes to bring his devotees closer to him. So if there is something that is an obstacle that is preventing us from opening our hearts and giving our love to Krishna, Krishna will remove that. It may be your fame, it may be your health, it may be your money, it may be your position, it may be anything. If it's an obstacle, if you see it as, no, I can't possibly surrender, I can't possibly be a devotee, I can't possibly give myself fully, Krishna will start moving things around. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he did his bhajan here, he wrote here, he preached here, and he was happy to do his part. And then he prayed for a ray of Vishnu because he saw that his time was coming, and he was happy to do his part and then to let others do their part. Because sometimes we think we have to do everything, but it's not possible, because it's a big world and it's a big mission. So I'm very grateful that you are taking the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to heart, and this is a good place to meditate in the mood of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. How can I expand, how can I share this message with others in a way that is attractive, is relatable, and it will have some impact on their heart, like he had impact. So this is what I wanted to share. Your parikram just started, so you're still in the beginning. You're going to go to a whole lot of very amazing places. Sometimes it may become a little too much and then it gets blurred, So it's good to take some notes and to just focus on the essence. Most of the songs that we sing is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jai Radha Madhava, Sharira Vijayam. What else? Help me.
Sharanagati.
Sharanagati. 200 songs. It's a lot. Most of the songs you're singing is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So nobody tops the Thakur. He's the top. So thank you very much for allowing me to be in your Sangha. It was my heartfelt desire, and Krishna fulfilled through his devotees. So, Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all glories to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Panchakalpa Trubhyascha, Kripasindubhyascha, Patitana Pavanebhyo, Hare Krishna.
The devotees, we have a few more minutes till Arati will start. Maybe somebody have a question? Yes, go ahead, please.
You said that Bhaktivinoda. You said that Bhaktivinoda Thakur rejected the titles he was given, but I wonder, weren't these titles useful for when he was sending books in the West and stuff like that? Couldn't they be used in Krishna's service?
Yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very sensitive to kind of like keep a balance between remaining relevant to the Bengali society, Hindu society at that time, and at the same time to work with the British. And that was his brilliant intelligence. Therefore, yes, British wanted to involve him much more. But he was trying to remain relevant for the locals, because otherwise he would just be put
Traitor, yes.
Labeled that he is a British and he is not relevant for us anymore. So therefore he kept this very, very nice balance.
That is brilliant.
Tarafa gelebilirsiniz.
This is the Banca when he was coming sometimes to the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was sitting in his place, he was chanting, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur usually he had a kind of like very caring attitude towards Shardas Babaji. Shardas Babaji was quite independent minded. Sometimes he was appearing, sometimes he was disappearing, but he always had his corner. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur never interfered that he should come at certain time or something like that. No, Shardas Babaji just appeared, was listening when Bhaktivinoda Thakur especially when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was preaching some Harikatha, and Gauri Shardas Babaji, he liked very much how Bhaktivinoda is preaching. But he had this nature, coming, appearing, listening, and then disappearing. So, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur always offered him a corner, that whenever you want to come, you have a place in my house, and you're welcome. So this is the place. Okay, dear devotees. Now we have to go back, unfortunately, and it's not far away from ISKCON. You can cooperate amongst yourself. You can come in the evening. Sometimes here, 2, 3, 4 devotees, but please don't go alone, especially ladies. And in groups is one mood in the group. Another mood is when you're coming along, you're chanting some rounds, you're spending sometimes. Shri Shardas Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. His Grace Radha Govinda Prabhu ki jai. His Grace Nrsimha Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Подумали, что, может быть, надо чуть-чуть поделиться с вами. потому что уже наше поколение потихонечку уходит. Мы подумали, что чуть-чуть, может быть, надо рассказать, как начиналось вот в наше время сознание Кришны.
And we thought that it will be useful to tell you how it was starting all the Krishna movement.
Ну, я пришла в движение в 81 году.
I came to the movement in 81.
Ну, Джападас пришел немножко пораньше.
Japadas came a little bit earlier.
Я попозже чуть-чуть. Вот, я в 81 году, и меня спрашивали, как я нашла Хари Кришна, но это был план Кришны.
I was asked how I found Krishna, but it was Krishna's plan.
Потому что в наше время про Хари Кришна никто не слышал совсем.
Because in our times nobody heard about Krishna at all.
Ну, Кришна умнее нас, и он придумывает всякие такие лазейки, чтобы нас как-то к себе приблизить.
But Krishna is smarter than us, and he settles all kind of traps for we can come back to him.
Я в то время училась в Москве в художественном институте.
I was studying in Moscow University, Artistic One.
И самое первое, когда я увидела Кришну, но я не знала, что это Кришна, мне надо было делать зарисовки к своей работе по миниатюре.
I didn't know about Krishna, but how I saw him, I had to make some previous work for my job, pictures.
Да, и я Индию любила с детства, и я выбрала тему Индии для того, чтобы это отобразить в миниатюре.
I loved India of all my childhood, and I chose India as a topic to manifest it in my creation.
И вот первый раз когда я стала искать какой-то материал, я увидела какого-то парня, который играл на флейте, и рядом были какие-то женщины с музыкальными инструментами.
And first time when I was studying this topic and was searching for the material, I saw some kind of interesting boy with a flute, and I saw some interesting women with all kinds of musical instruments.
Я не знала, что это Кришна, и я не знала, что это гопи, но мне очень как-то вот интуитивно очень притянула эта иллюстрация.
I didn't know that it's Krishna and that those were gopis, but I felt an attraction towards them.
Ну, Кришна очень хитрый.
Krishna is very sly.
И эта иллюстрация осталась у меня где-то вот в сердце.
And this illustration remained in my heart very deeply.
И возможно, что это было началом пути.
Possibly it was the beginning of the way.
Только я еще об этом не знала.
But I didn't know that yet.
И поскольку я была художником, то и была студенткой, в общем, мы с подругой очень хотели заработать денег.
And because I was a student and I was artist, me and my friend, we desperately wanted to have some money.
Вот, мы расписывали всякие предметы и просто продавали на улице.
We were painting some sort of items and we were selling them in the streets.
И к нам подошла одна женщина и сказала: очень красивые у вас вещи, но, говорит, у меня нету денег с собой, приходите ко мне домой, и я ближе познакомимся, я там вам расплачусь с вами.
And one woman said that she doesn't have money with her, but they can come to her place and they will meet each other more and she will give them money.
Эта женщина была драматург, она работала с актерами.
This lady was dramaturg and she was working with actors.
И вот она стала нам рассказывать про космос, про астральные миры, про третий глаз, про какие-то биополя.
And she started to tell about the third eye, the cosmos, the auric fields and bioresonance and stuff like that.
В те времена мы ничего этого не слышали, это просто информация была такая очень не популярная.
In those times, this information wasn't very popular. We didn't hear something about that.
И один день она сказала: вы йогой интересуетесь, хотите, чтобы я вас с йогами познакомила?
And once she asked, are you interested in yoga? Do you want to meet some yogis?
Нам это было не очень интересно, но поскольку мы были девочки очень любопытные, думаю, надо познакомиться для расширения кругозора.
We were not interested in that, but we were very curious, and we thought that it will help us to go out of the box, those connections.
Про йогов мы знали только, что они делают асаны, стоят на головах, но нам это было не очень интересно.
About yogis, we knew that they do asanas and they stand on their heads, but we were not very interested in that moment.
И вот к этой женщине-драматурга пришла одна девушка, Люда такая, вот, которую ты уже знаешь, Люда Кахутина. Вот, она пригласила нас к себе домой.
And once to that woman came a woman named Luda Kahutina, and she invited to her home.
Вот, и мы поехали.
And we went there.
Да. Очень хорошо помню этот день. Это было 31 мая 1981 года.
I remember that day very clearly. It was 31st of May 1981.
В те времена все программы были засекречены, поэтому нас отвезли в Подмосковье на электричке. Там очень надо было долго добираться.
Those times programs were top secret, they were hidden, and we had to go in the Moscow region by train and everything. It was very far.
Вот, и мы, когда зашли в эту квартиру, то я думаю, это не йоги, это что-то другое.
And when I came into that apartment, I thought they were not yogis, it's something different.
И вот меня очень удивил этот запах благовония, и вот эти люди в вайшнавской одежде, у меня такое ощущение было, что они ходили и пола не касались.
And it was very interesting. I remember that interesting sense and that clothes, Vaishnava clothes, and it looked like those people when they were walking, they didn't even touch the floor.
Была какая-то мистическая атмосфера, и мне это очень привлекло.
I was attracted by that mystic atmosphere.
И к нам подсел один вот из первых преданных тоже, не Видура, этот, он же тело оставил, Вишвамитра Прабху, может кто-то знает Вишвамитра Прабху.
And Vishwamitra Prabhu sit near us. It was also one of the first devotees.
Он стал показывать Бхагавад-гиту, картинки, рассказывать про какую-то битву. Ну, я ничего не поняла, кто с кем там воевал.
He started to show us Bhagavad Gita pictures, saying that someone was fighting with someone about the war, but I didn't understand anything.
Ну, мы были очень такие культурно воспитанные, так что мы терпеливо сидели и слушали.
But we were very cultured and good behaved and raised, so we just were sitting and listening.
Но честно говоря, я хотела, чтобы быстрее это закончилось и что-то было поинтереснее.
But I wanted it to finish as fast as possible, and I wanted something interesting to start.
Вот, потом после этого начался киртан.
After that, the kirtan began.
И нам с подругой дали вот такие распечатанные бумажки, где написано было Харе Кришна.
And me and my friend received some papers on which it was written Hare Krishna.
И сказали, пойте.
And they say, sing it.
Мы только пришли, мы вообще ничего не знаем, что петь, как петь, и мы даже прочитать не можем эти слова.
We just came and we didn't know anything about it, and they just said sing, and we received papers which we couldn't even read properly.
Ну, нам показали вот эту простую мелодию Прабхупады Харе Кришна, вот, и попросили, повторить за собой, и...
We were shown that simple melody of Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, and we were asked to sing it.
Да, и мы по бумажкам вот потом, теперь вы пойте сами, а в общем, мы вам будем помогать. И вот мы по бумажкам пели.
And now you are seen by papers, by the text that you received, and we will help you.
Да. Сначала мы очень стеснялись, а потом как-то вот нас так поддерживали, мы так уже своими себя почувствовали.
At first we were very shy, but after a while we felt more confident. We felt like we are those guys.
Да. И потом был прасад.
Then we had prasad.
Прасад меня просто сразил, хотя там ничего особенного не было.
Prasad just astonished me, although it was very simple.
Там вообще были несочетаемые продукты.
Uncompatible products they were,
Но было это очень вкусно.
but it was so tasty.
Было молоко со свежими огурцами, сладкое молоко со свежими огурцами,
Sweet milk with fresh cucumbers, for example.
халава, была что-то там вроде сабджи, в общем, там все в одну кучу.
Sabji, everything in one place.
Но мне очень все равно понравилось, такие вкусы были необычные.
But I liked it very much because all those tastes were so unusual.
И вы знаете, вот что-то проснулось внутри.
And something awakened in my soul.
Вау, что-то такое космическое, что в моей жизни не было никогда.
Something like wow, which I never had in my life before.
Вот эта чистота вот преданных, вот это вот их внимание очень как-то привлекло.
And this beauty of the devotees, their care and attention, it was very attractive.
И там на этой программе были вот все преданные такие основные, которые в Москве, вот Видура, был Сатананда, его жена сестра Нарасимха, Нара, жена Видуры. Ну вот такие преданные, которые, в общем, весь косяк в Москве. Их было очень мало, но основные.
So all this company of the devotees that Mataji said, they were present there, and those were in the beginning, devotees that were in the beginning, and they are the essence of that Russian congregation.
Вот, и они потом в конце спросили, ну как вам понравилось?
And then they asked, did you like it?
Ну, ничего, так нормально.
It's okay, it was nice.
Вот, они говорят, ну вот, говорит, теперь, если вы хотите продолжать это все, то вы должны каждый день повторять по 16 кругов.
And they said, now if you want to continue all that, you have to chant daily 16 rounds.
Меньше нельзя.
You cannot less.
Потому что процесс не будет работать.
Because the process will not work.
Ну, ладно, говорю, хорошо, 16 так 16.
Okay, 16 means 16.
Вот, и у нас не было ни джапа, ничего, так вот у нас, мы сделали там какие-то из бусинок какие-то, бусы.
We didn't have japa or anything, we just took some pearls and anything and we did
Вот, и эти бусы мы делили с подругой пополам. То есть сначала она повторяла 16 кругов, потом я повторяла 16 кругов.
And we divided with my friend those pearls. First she was chanting and then I was chanting.
Да, и когда мы вернулись домой, мы же не были вегетарианцами, мы пришли домой, у нас в холодильнике еще котлетки лежат, там еще что-то лежат. Мы говорим, давай так, доедим. Не выбрасывать.
And me and my friends were not vegetarians, so we came home and meat meal was waiting for us, and we looked at that meal, we looked at each other and we said, okay, we eat one last time and after that we will start.
Вот, а потом уже начнем тогда уже серьезно. Сейчас пока вот так все. Ну не выбрасывать же, студенты бедные, жалко выбрасывать.
And then we will start it seriously because we were students, we were poor and we had to eat something, so we decided to start it seriously after we eat that meal.
Вот, и так вот мы начали практиковать по чуть-чуть, как умели, так практиковали. Вставали в 6 утра, у нас утром включалось радио, гимн Советского Союза. Вот, и мы под эту музыку вставали в 6 утра, и...
So we started to get up at 6 a.m. The hymn of Soviet Union was playing, and we started to wake up at that time.
Да, мы убрали с полки книги свои и поставили там маленький алтарчик.
We put away our books on the shelf, and we put there a small altar.
Вот, и нам объяснили, что надо продукты, то, что вы готовите, надо предлагать Кришне, вот, и вот это будет прасадом.
And we were explained that we have to offer the products and the meal that we cook to Krishna, and then it will be prasadam.
И мы решили так, мы сами так придумали, логически подумали так, значит, мы идем в магазин, берем продукты, которые касались кармии, эти продукты нечистые, значит, их надо очистить.
And we were thinking to ourselves, so we go to the shop and we take the products which were taken which were touched by karmi, so they are unclean. So we have to clean them somehow.
Да, и мы покупали картошку, морковку, капусту вот в этих сетках с землей, клали все на алтарь, предлагали.
So we took in those huge huge bags with potato, with cabbage and carrots, and we were putting it all on the altar, we were offering it.
Все очищали мантрами, и потом уже вот типа из чистых продуктов мы уже начинали готовить уже просад.
And then after so-called clean products, we started to cook.
Ну, мы так воспринимали это, и вот я уже говорила, наверное, Кришна очень смеялся с нашего преданного служения, но мы это делали очень искренне.
This is how we were doing it, and I think Krishna was laughing at our service, but it was very sincere one, so this is what we did.
Ну, потом, ну, нам объяснили потом, что так делать не надо, и, в общем, мы перестали так делать.
We were explained later that we should not do like this, and we stopped doing that.
Ну, вот это были наши первые дни в сознании Кришны. Мы собирались раз в неделю в Москве, и каждый раз локация менялась.
So it were first days in Krishna consciousness for us, and we were in Moscow. We met once a week, and every time we changed the location.
Мы думали, что это безобидное занятие, вот, но мы не знали, что нас ждет впереди.
We were thinking that it's an innocent thing to do, but we didn't know what is awaiting us.
Но вкус мы уже успели получить, и вот это нас очень сильно держало.
But we already caught the taste, so it was holding it us for very strongly.
Да, и потом вот потихонечку начались преследования.
And then slowly started the persecutions.
И это было очень серьезно.
And it was very serious.
В Москве там не шутили.
In Moscow they didn't joke with that.
И вот каким-то образом вычисляли места, где мы собирались. Возможно, что среди нас были стукачи, мы так понимали.
They somehow knew the places that we were going together in. We suppose that we had some rats in our community.
Да, и как бы мы ни прятались, нас как-то вычисляли.
And as much as we were hiding, they still were finding us.
Вот, и мы уже все были под учетом.
All of us, we had the document in police, the case.
Да, ну, я всех подробностей не смогу рассказать, потому что это очень долго. В общем, у нас книга пишется на эту тему.
I cannot give you the details because it will be very long. We have a book which is written right now on this subject.
Я очень сильно сокращу, скажу основные моменты.
I will make it short very tightly. I will say the main moments.
Когда уже стали очень сильно преследовать преданных,
when persecutions became too severe,
мой отец посадил меня под домашний арест.
My father put me in the house, like making prison. I couldn't go out.
Он был военным, был подполковником, и у него были очень большие связи.
He was a military man. He was a colonel, and he had huge connections.
И он запретил мне общаться с кем-либо, контролировал абсолютно все мои действия.
And he forbid me to communicate with people, and he was controlling all the people I'm talking to.
Он порвал книги, фотографии, которые у меня были.
He ripped the books and photos that I had.
Вот, и у меня была кассеты с музыкой, они с мамой спрятали это все, чтобы я ничем не могла пользоваться.
We had music on the cassette, and they hide it, so I cannot use it.
Да, и один день из КГБ к нам пришла повестка, что меня вызывают на допрос.
And one day we had a note from KGB that I was asked to come to the investigation.
И отец лично посадил меня в машину, отвез на допрос.
My father personally took me in his car and took me to the investigation.
И там держали, не знаю, или 5 или 6 часов меня.
5-6 hours I was holding there.
И по-хорошему, по-плохому, в общем, пытались меня переубедить.
And with good or bad things, they started to try to convince me otherwise.
И запугивали, что перекроют мне все дороги и посадят меня в тюрьму, если не откажусь.
They were threatening me that they will cut off all my roads in life and they will put me in prison if I will not agree on their terms.
Ну, в общем, они работали очень профессионально, и они очень хорошие психологи.
They were working very professionally because they are very good psychologists.
Ну, я в конце, я очень устала от этого давления, но потом я сказала, что хорошо, спасибо, я подумаю обо всем, что вы сказали. Может быть, я передумаю.
I had a huge psychological pressure, so I told them, okay, thank you, I will consider all that you said.
Ну, это просто надо было сказать, чтобы они от меня отстали.
But I had to tell it so they just leave me alone.
Вот, и потом отец меня привез домой после этого.
After that, father took me home.
И он, когда я приходила с работы, он каждый вечер садил меня перед собой и просто выбивал из меня эту всю кришнаитскую дурь из головы.
And when I was coming back home from work, he was putting me to sit and he beat out this Krishna foolishness out of me.
Ну, было все очень серьезно, и я поняла, что от меня не отстанут, потому что давление было и со стороны государства, со стороны КГБ, со стороны отца, и меня просто вот душили вообще.
And I understood that it will be too hard for me, too much psychological pressure from the government, from the KGB, from my father, all at once.
И у меня был друг из Литвы, и, в общем, он сказал, что я помогу тебе справиться с этим. Просто он уговорил меня уехать из России.
I had a friend in Lithuania, and he told me that he will help me with that, and he will take me to him.
И вот пока родители были на работе, я собрала вещи и просто убежала из дома.
And while parents were at work, I just packed my stuff and I ran out from home.
Потому что если бы я осталась, то они просто бы меня уничтожили.
Because if I stayed, they would just destroy me.
Вот, и я уехала, но я оставила записку, что я поехала в Литву.
And I left, but I left a note that I left in Lithuania.
Я понимала, что я своим родителям причиню очень большую боль, но мне надо было сохранить свое сознание Кришны.
I understood that I would give so much pain to my parents, but I needed to save my Krishna consciousness.
И когда я приехала в Литву, то вот с этим преданным мы первое, что сделали, мы подали заявление в ЗАГС.
And when I came in Lithuania, first thing that we made with that devotee, we went to make a marriage.
И в это время меня уже в России объявили в розыск.
At that time in Russia, they put me on search wanted. I was wanted in Russia.
И в общем, мы успели оформить наши отношения, и я уже поменяла гражданство и поменяла фамилию.
But by that time, I already got married. I changed my surname and I changed my citizenship.
И когда вышли на мой след, я уже была гражданкой другой страны, меня уже не могли вернуть в Россию.
And when they found me, I already was a citizen of another country and they couldn't reach me.
Ну, в общем, я вовремя уехала, потому что как только я уехала из России, преданных стали сажать в тюрьмы.
But I ran away in the perfect time because after I left, exactly after that, they started to put devotees in prison.
И меня вот спасло от тюрьмы только то, что я вовремя уехала и поменяла гражданство.
The only thing that saved me that I left early and I changed my citizenship.
Вот, и в Литве это то же самое было преследование, но преданных не сажали в тюрьму.
In Lithuania there were also persecutions, but they didn't put devotees into the prison.
И в нашей квартире был центр.
And in our apartment was center.
И вот в нашей квартире тоже был обыск.
And we were also investigated at this apartment.
Я тоже коротко расскажу, просто это очень интересный момент. Я сделала, думаю, для вас будет это очень полезно. Были очень глубокие реализации, получила после этого обыска.
And I want to share with you those realizations I received after they checked that apartment.
Я своему мужу сказала, что, говорю, я за 3 дня Параматма мне сказала, говорит, что придет обыск, надо убирать все из квартиры.
Paramatma told me 3 days before they came to investigate our apartment that I have to put away everything.
Но он как-то не воспринял это всерьез.
But he didn't took it seriously.
И вот в то утро, когда уже пришли к нам КГБ, обыск в смысле.
And those morning that the KGB came for investigation.
Я успела что-то сложить вот в 2 сумки и отнести в подвал.
I managed to took 2 bags of that stuff and to put it in the basement.
А когда я поднялась, уже все, в нашей квартире уже все обыскивали.
When I came up, our apartment was already checked, half checked.
Вот, и нам приказали сидеть, вот сесть на диван, чтобы вы не двигались.
And they ordered us to sit on the sofa so we don't move.
Вот, и когда вот мы сели и вот видели, как они все скидывают в мешки из-под картошки.
And when we sat and we saw that they put everything in the bags from potatoes.
Такие, ну, мешки, как их, не холщовые или как-то, ну, дроби по-литовски, как сказать. Ну, короче, холст, ну, как холст, такие.
So they
И, в общем, они туда все скидывали, алтарь, все, что находили, все скидывали.
Everything that is connected to Krishna, they put it there.
Было очень больно, конечно, все это смотреть.
It was very painful to observe, to watch.
Потому что мы очень тяжело все это доставали в то время. Это достать практически все было невозможно.
Because we managed to take everything with we put a lot of effort to find those things because at that time we didn't have anything.
И мы книги там делали вручную, все печатали, в общем, все это все забрали.
Books were created manually, and we were writing by hand, and they took it all.
И я потом вдруг вспомнила, что у нас была оригинальная Бхагавад-гита на литовском языке, она была единственная на всю Литву.
And we had Bhagavad Gita in Lithuanian language, and it was the only book in Lithuanian for all the country. We had only one exemplary.
И до нее они еще не добрались.
And they didn't find it yet.
Я подумала, что надо ее спасти.
I thought that I should save her.
Потому что это будет очень большая потеря.
Because it will be a great loss.
И она на кухне у меня лежала за холодильником.
And it was behind the fridge in the kitchen.
Я взяла эту книгу, я думаю, надо ее где-то перепрятать. И я просто пошла в ванную, закрылась и думаю, надо где-то ее спрятать.
I thought that I have to hide it somewhere else. I just took it. I closed myself in the bathroom.
И я сказала этим охранникам, говорю, что мне просто надо в туалет, извините.
I told them that I need to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry.
Вот, и я открыла воду в ванную, чтобы не было слышно, и я стала искать. Ну, думала, эту Бхагавад-гиту подсунули под ванну, она тяжелая, она падала, она не закреплялась.
And I opened the water so it would cover the nose, because I was trying to put this book under the bath and near the wall, but it was heavy and it kept falling down.
Я не могла найти место, куда ее спрятать.
I couldn't find a place to hide it.
И я от страха и стресса просто залезла в эту воду.
And because of stress and panic, I just entered the water.
И стала там сидеть и просто мыться, и просто сидела и думала, что теперь делать, куда спрятать эту Бхагавад-гиту.
And I was washing in that water, and I was thinking how to hide this Bhagavad Gita.
И один из милиционеров, они уже стали очень сильно стучать в дверь.
And one of the policemen started to knock on the door very heavily.
Ногой. И был такой звук, что они выломают дверь.
With the leg, and I thought that they will break the door.
Я очень испугалась, я просто взмолилась Кришну, что теперь делать? Книга лежит на виду у меня.
And I was praying to Krishna, what should I do now? Because the book was right in front of me.
Они кричат вот так, бах-бах, кричат, говорят, выходи сейчас же, иначе я выломаю дверь.
And they were screaming and they were knocking and say, go out now or we will break the door.
И я трясущимися руками вот так вот эту книгу засунула к себе сюда в живот, так зажала ее.
And with the shaking hands, I had the book under my stomach.
Накинула на себя полотенце, я мокрая.
I put a towel on me, I was wet all over.
Выхожу оттуда вся замотанная.
I go out all in towel.
И он кричит на меня, ты почему так долго? Я же сказал не выходить, не вставать с дивана.
Why it took you so long? I told you not to go out from sofa.
А потом он так на меня посмотрел с таким злом, говорит, а что, если я тебя сейчас обыщу?
And he looked at me very angrily and said, what if I will check you now?
Ну, о, Кришна, нет, только не это.
Krishna, not this, please, not this.
И я вот вдавила эту Бхагавад-гиту себе в живот, мне кажется, она прилипла у меня к спине просто.
I pressed this Bhagavad Gita into my stomach. I think it just glued into me.
Я наверное, в жизни никогда так не молилась, как в тот момент.
I never prayed in my entire life like I prayed in that very moment.
Но он меня не тронул и сказал: иди сядь и больше не вставай.
Go sit and don't stand up again, but he never touched me.
Вот, и, в общем, там еще много они все сбрасывали, все заносили в протокол, но Бхагавад-гита осталась у меня в животе, можно сказать.
They found a lot of things and they were making protocol with them, but Bhagavad Gita remained in my stomach, if I can say so.
Да. И вот когда все закончилось, я вот так и сидела с этой Бхагавад-гитой, обнявшей ее.
And when everything stopped, I was sitting with Bhagavad Gita, holding it.
И было уже тихо и очень пусто в квартире.
And it was very quiet and very empty in the apartment.
Они вынесли все, что только могли вынести.
They took away everything that they could.
И я вот сидела в этой тишине, и мне было так больно и, противно, вот, что вот эти люди просто осквернили все, что мы так берегли.
And it was so empty, and I was in such a sorrow that and disgust that those people just came and they spoiled everything that we were carrying with such love.
Вот, и я не знаю, почему-то я была одна, я не знаю, куда муж делся, но я сидела одна вот в пустой комнате.
I don't know where my husband went, but I was sitting alone in the room.
И просто горевала. Думаю, что теперь Кришны нету, все отобрали.
And I was simply in a sorrow, in depression. Everything is I own. Krishna is not here. Everything has left.
И потом вот в этой тишине я вот как-то из сердца вот мне вот просто услышала голос.
And in this silence in my heart, I heard a voice.
Кришна, вот Параматма, вот Кришна говорит: чего ты так переживаешь?
Krishna said, "Why you're so sad?
Это просто атрибутика.
Those are just attributes.
Это же не я.
It's not me.
Это просто вот эти открытки, эти вот музыка, это же не я, это просто атрибутика, которая вам помогала вот практиковать.
That music, those cards, those are not me. It's just attributes that helped you to. They were helping you."
А я остался с вами, я остался в святом имени.
I'm here with you in the holy name.
Я никуда от вас не ушел.
I never left you.
Я никогда от вас не откажусь.
I will never abandon you.
Я всегда останусь с вами до того момента, если вы сами от меня не откажетесь.
I will remain with you as much time as you will not abandon me, if you will not refuse me.
И вот после этого момента вот комната наполнилась таким светом.
And after that moment, all the room had immense light.
И мне стало так легко.
And I felt so easy.
И я поняла.
And I understood.
Я поняла, что Кришна не в атрибутике.
I understood that Krishna is not in the attributes.
Кришна не в накоплении вещей.
It's not in collecting things.
И Кришна не находится вообще в чем-то материальном.
He's not in anything material.
И я поняла, что Кришну надо искать не там, где мы пробовали его найти.
And I understood that we should not search for Krishna in the places that we were trying to find him in.
И для меня вот это была очень глубокая реализация, что Кришна выше всех материальных каких-то вещей, даже если они в сознании Кришны.
And it was a deep realization for me that Krishna is not in all those things, material ones, even if they are tightly connected with him.
И с тех пор я просто перестала накапливать вещи.
And after that, I stopped collecting things, all that attributes.
Просто мне было ясно сказано, где его надо искать, в святом имени.
Because I was told very clearly where I have to search for him, and it was the holy name.
И вот в то время, как мы повторяли святые имена, как сумасшедшие повторяли, сейчас уже, наверное, так не получается повторять.
And we were chanting holy name like crazy ones. I think nowadays we don't chant holy names like we did back then.
С полной передачей и очень с большой концентрацией.
With huge devotion and with huge focus.
Вот поверьте, Кришна реально танцевал на языке.
Trust me, Krishna literally was dancing on my tongue.
Это было так сладко.
And it was so sweet.
И этот вкус каждый раз возвращался, когда ты начинаешь повторять святые имена.
And this taste, this sweet taste is always coming back when I'm chanting the holy name.
И мы держались именно за счет повторения святых имен.
We were holding on only due to chanting the holy names.
У нас ничего не было.
We didn't have anything.
Мы ничего не знали, ничего не понимали еще в сознании Кришны.
We didn't know anything. We didn't understand anything in Krishna consciousness.
Но мы очень-очень хотели познать Кришну.
But we wanted very, very much to know Krishna.
Было страшно, да.
It was very scary, yes.
Мы были молодыми.
We were young.
Еще только начинали жить.
We just started to live.
И мы понимали, с какой системой мы имеем дело.
And we understood with what system we are fighting with.
Но вот это огромное желание познать Бога, оно преодолевало перекрывало все страхи.
But that huge desire to know God, to understand God, it was covering all the other fears and doubts.
И нас было совсем немножко, горстка преданных.
We were not too many. We were just few people of devotees.
И вот эта огромная система, машина вот эта государственная, она не смогла нас уничтожить, потому что мы держались за святые имена.
And that huge machine of government, of the system, it could not destroy us because we were holding on to the holy name.
И вот кто-то ушел, кто-то остался.
Some people left, some people stayed from that times.
Вот, и мы прошли очень тяжелый путь, чтобы вот это сознание Кришны донести до этих времен.
And we went through a very hard way to give people the Krishna consciousness and holy name.
Мы видели, как развивается сознание Кришны, как оно трансформируется.
We saw Krishna consciousness transforming and developing.
Но, тем не менее, вот этот вкус и желание познать Бога, оно, остается, живет в сердце.
But that taste and the desire to know God, it's still in our hearts.
Вот, и потому мы вот хотим передать вам, что сознание Кришны, оно того стоит, чтобы за него бороться.
What we want to transmit you is that Krishna consciousness is worth fighting.
Потому что Кришна каждое ваше вложение и вот вашу борьбу он точно оценит.
Because Krishna appreciates every single thing that you are doing for him and every fight.
Это проверено на практике.
I felt it on my skin.
И Кришна нас никогда не оставит, если мы сами от него не откажемся.
And Krishna will never abandon us if we will not refuse ourselves.
Ну, наверное, столько. Я больше не буду говорить, потому что можно очень много говорить на эту тему.
I think this was it because I cannot talk long about this, although we can talk a very long time about all this topic.
Просто оставайтесь в сознании Кришны, как бы ни было трудно.
Just stay in Krishna consciousness, no matter what difficulty you will confront with.
Оно того стоит.
It's worth it.
Все можно пережить.
You can live through everything.
Если вы будете держать в сердце Господа.
If you will keep the God in your hearts.
Он всегда даст силы.
He will always give you the power.
И энтузиазм.
Enthusiasm.
И вот как сегодня говорили на лекции, что мы должны быть проповедниками.
As today's lecture was saying that we have to be preachers.
Потому что Кришна больше всего ценит именно проповедников, тех, кто распространяет сознание Кришны.
Because Krishna values the most preachers who are teaching the knowledge about Krishna.
Вот, и потому мы тоже распространяли сознание Кришны, мы не знали как.
We also were spreading the Krishna knowledge, but we didn't know how.
Как это сработает, мы не знали.
How it will work, we didn't know.
Но мы делали то, что умели, и мы были в миссии Шрилы Прабхупады.
We were doing what we could do, and we were in the Srila Prabhupada's mission.
И потому нас это не сломило, вот эти все трудности.
That's why we were not broken by all those difficulties.
И вот мы всегда будем сильными только тогда, когда мы будем чувствовать, что мы в миссии Шрилы Прабхупады.
We will feel ourselves strong only when we will be in the Srila Prabhupada's mission.
Вот. И если мы будем жить просто для себя, практиковать, мы очень сильно ослабеем.
And if we will live only for ourselves and we will practice alone, we will be very weak.
Потому вот я вас очень прошу, найдите себе такую деятельность, чтобы вы чувствовали себя в миссии Шрилы Прабхупады.
So I ask you dearly, just find yourself mission 7 so that you feel in Srila Prabhupada's mission, that you feel that you are putting something
И
into
тогда
it.
вас будет не сломить.
And then you cannot be broken.
Да, и вы все переживете.
And you will live through anything,
Любые трудности.
any difficulties.
Я вам этого желаю.
I wish you all
В
that.
Святой Дхаме.
In this Saint
Ом
Hama.
Тат Сат.
Om
Харе
Tat Sat.
Кришна.
Hare Krishna.
Шрила Прабхупад ки джай.